Welcome back, OSLP family.
Welcome.
You are listening to our Sleep Life podcast. This is Kelly.
And this is Mel.
And we have a good one for you guys today.
Yes, we do.
You guys know how much that we push taking your vitamins because we did not take them correctly.
No, we found out just 4 months ago I was not taking them right.
Yes. And now that we have started taking the correct vitamins, we feel so much better.
So much freaking better. It's kind of dumb how how good I do feel.
Right?
Yeah.
Just by taking your vitamins and the correct ones, because there are vitamins everywhere. And I was taking gummy vitamins, which we recently learned. Don't do that when you're a bariatric patient. So now that I'm actually taking them, oh my God, do I feel amazing.
So different. It's like night and day. And we like to have a variety of vitamins. So there's tons of vitamins out there, but we want to make sure that we highlight the ones that are bariatric friendly.
Yes.
So without further ado,
we have
the fellas from
Paravita. And we're so excited to have you guys on. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy days to come on this podcast and talk about your vitamin.
So say hi, guys.
Thanks for having us. Amazing.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Super excited to be on here and, love what you guys do and, looking forward to sharing our story and our company with you.
Yay. I'm sure everybody's going to love hearing about it. So
seriously. So first introduce yourself so they can kind of get the name with the voice if they're not watching.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, this is our first podcast, so cut us some slack along the way, but we're going to be ourselves and talk some vitamins with you guys today. And we're super excited. So I'm Steven. I'm one of the founders of Paravita, and my partner here can introduce himself.
Yeah, I'm Ben, and I'm the other co-founder of Paravita.
Yes, and tell everybody where you guys are located.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
For sure.
Well, I don't know if you can tell by our accents, but we're a couple of Canadians just out of Toronto, Ontario. So not too far from the US border, but we are Canadian-based. We're Canadian-made, and we do business in both Canada and the United States.
Awesome. Perfect. And where are you coming from today, Steven?
I'm over here in Sweden at the moment.
Yes.
Yes, across the seas.
Yes. So we finally have a Zoom call from across the sea.
Literally.
Well, I'm not good at geography.
Far enough, for sure.
Not Switzerland. That's the one people get confused with. Sweden, not Switzerland.
Okay.
Yes.
Sweden. And Ben, you are in Toronto right now, correct?
Yeah, I'm currently stuck in the lockdown capital of the world, apparently, Toronto, Canada.
All right. Yeah, because you guys locked down again, right?
Yeah, it's been like back and forth, but restaurants and small businesses and gyms probably haven't been open now for well over a year, maybe on and off for about a week's time. But it's I think they declared some sort of state of emergency and lockdown. Everything's kind of still.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Hey, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Because I know it's hit and miss to where you're at, but I did not know the full lockdown.
Yeah. Are they doing vaccines there yet?
Yes. So we're doing vaccines, but right now is they're pushing people back if they're not eligible. So if you aren't located in what's called a hot zone, so where there's a ton of COVID cases, or if you're not age specific, or if you're not healthcare frontline worker, they're turning a lot of people down.
Okay.
So they're coming around to it, getting enough vaccines, but that's definitely been an initial struggle for us.
Yeah, I know. I have mine. I got both doses, and as on Wednesday, I will be fully vaccinated with the 2 week waiting.
Very lucky.
Very excited. Mel has gotten one dose.
The first one.
Yeah.
I was in the same walls of I have no health issues and of my age. So they're you have to wait forever, basically, But finally I got it. I was sweet. So now I have to get my second shot in a couple weeks. So
yeah.
Did you guys have any symptoms from it?
I had the second dose was really bad on me. I thought I was fine. And then Mel works from my house on Thursdays. And it was she was I could see the progression of the exhaustion hitting you. And I just went downhill quick. And I was down for a couple days.
She was all clammy and sweaty. And I was we're going to be doing a live. Are you sure you can go on and test things, and she's like, yeah, no. And I'm like, yeah, let's just cancel.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So we rescheduled our live. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about in Sweden, Stephen?
It's a little slow here, to be honest. I haven't had any vaccines yet, and not many people I know here have had one either. So,
oh damn, wow.
And the same as Ontario, I guess, and Canada in general.
It's interesting. Yeah, that's very interesting because, like, here in Oregon, they're saying every person over the age of 16 will be vaccinated before summer starts.
So they're trying
16 or 60?
16.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's
That's
nuts.
good. That's progress for sure.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. Oregon is definitely on top of the vaccine game, which I'm thankful for because I have lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, and fibromyalgia.
Yeah.
So my autoimmune goes crazy. And I was like, no, I have to be vaccinated. Like, I don't really care what the symptoms are.
Love it.
Yes.
Well, yeah, and especially with the vaccine, I was like pushing her vitamins. I was like, take your vitamins, please. Like, because I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. So I was on top of it.
Yeah.
I was taking all of them.
So speaking of vitamins, how did you guys get into the vitamin game? Like, how did this even start?
Good transition. Stephen, I'll let you kick off.
Quick transition there too. There's really interesting research around vitamin D and COVID these days. I'm sure maybe you guys have heard.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm not too versed in it though. So maybe
it's still super early, so no one is super well versed in it, but there's just some interesting associations between vitamin D levels in the blood and severity of COVID symptoms when people get COVID. So I've been taking my vitamin D. That's all I can say. It's still super early, but would recommend it.
Yes, definitely recommend it. I give that to my kid and my husband every day. I'm like, take vitamin D. Drop it. It's like sunshine in a little pill. Just take it. Have fun with it.
It's interesting. So how did you start this company? How did you, what was your vision when you decided, okay, let's start this?
Yeah, I mean, maybe even taking a step back before that. So I have a background in biology and nutrition. And so Ben and I have been best friends for almost 9 years as well. We went to university together. And I guess the topic of the nutrient deficiencies associated with bariatric surgery came up during my degree. And I was really, curious about this problem, and I thought, hey, how come no one's really doing anything about this? Why is this? This is something that people need to look into more. And so I begged my professor, can I do my thesis around this? So I did a whole thesis project around the nutrient deficiencies associated with bariatric surgery. And at that point, we weren't even thinking of a business or anything. We were just really interested in the topic. And that sort of, led me personally further into the healthcare world. I ended up working for a healthcare technology company for a few years, where I actually got to interact with hundreds of bariatric patients. I've seen live surgeries. I've been really involved in the world of bariatric surgery. And the really interesting thing is that there's so much focus placed on the surgery itself, but not a lot of focus placed on life after surgery from a hospital and care standpoint. So Ben and I, we've been best friends for so long. We're very passionate about starting a business, and we've been talking about this problem for years, and we decided, hey, do you want to actually jump in, and do you want to do something about it? And so in, I think, January of 2018, we took our first steps. We started working on it, and that's the sort of background that led us to where we are today.
Love it.
So
I love it.
When you were doing your thesis, what kind of things did you find when you're doing the research that kind of triggered oh, this is a problem?
Yeah, absolutely. So actually what was super interesting was the number one problem with the vitamin deficiencies after surgery comes down to compliance. So people just simply not taking their vitamins. And it doesn't matter how good your product is. It doesn't matter what you put out there. If you're not taking them, it's not working. It was estimated that almost 100% of bariatric patients will have at least some vitamin or mineral deficiency after their surgery, which is crazy.
Mhm.
Just because
Yeah.
it's something you have to take every single day for life, right? So, there's times when people, slip up along the way or forget to take their vitamins. But another big problem was that I think there's about 30% of patients who are really into taking them. They're really good. They make a big lifestyle change and they take their vitamins every day. There's another 30% that kind of takes them sometimes, and then there's another 30% that really just doesn't take them at all. And people end up back in the hospital with really bad iron deficiency, B12 deficiency, and so on. There was another really interesting finding from some research that up to, I think it was around 10% or 10 or 20% of weight lost after bariatric surgery was actually from bone loss due to calcium deficiency.
Whoa.
So as you're losing weight, it's natural for your body to lose some bone mass because you don't need all that bone strength to support your body. But if you are calcium deficient and vitamin D deficient, that will just skyrocket, and people, lose more bone than they need to. And then later on in their life, they're very prone to osteoporosis and other side effects.
Oh, we didn't
Wow.
know that
I
either.
had no clue that was the thing. See,
Yeah,
this is exactly why we do this podcast, because we learn facts like that. And I guarantee you 95% of our listeners have no clue on that.
Not the bone mass part.
No, I had
Like,
no clue.
That makes sense why they push calcium 3 times a day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. If they would explain like why that's so important instead of just like take these, I think would go a long, long way. So, what other side effects did you find when you researched that? Like,
Yeah, and that's something. Steven?
No, go ahead, Ben.
No, so I was just basically adding, like Steven kind of brings all these points to my attention since the inception of this. And that's something we try to illustrate on like our social platforms is instead of pushing something hard kind of in your face, let's educate people. And, as I wasn't educated and, as you guys just mentioned, there's points that you hadn't even heard about. Let us kind of be that voice to like show you how important taking your vitamins are. Even if it's not our vitamins, take some type of specific bariatric multivitamin,
Yes. And we didn't realize how important it was to take a bariatric specific one. I thought, oh, well, just take any vitamin because that's what I heard. And we all know I hear things differently. So my surgeon could have very well said, you need to take a bariatric friendly one, but I didn't hear that. And I'm like, oh, I'll just take any vitamin. And nope. I felt worse being not taking a bariatric vitamin.
Or they'll do like, just take the Flintstones, at least take that. And we're like, that's not even enough, right, guys?
I mean, it's tough from both sides, right? Because from, a doctor's perspective, or they want you to take something at least, like, it's better to take something rather than nothing. But then, sometimes people have the perspective that, maybe it's harder to go recommend a specific one because then, maybe if they don't go out of their way to get it, then they're not going to take anything at all. So, and it really depends, like hospital to hospital where you go. Like, sometimes they'll just give you maybe an ingredient list of things to look out for, or sometimes not all. Well, you're kind of on your own. So yeah, like we really wanted to make something that was standardized, that was easy to take, and really build something that people can take over the long term. And that's actually how the name Paravita kind of means, it's a rough translation in Spanish, which means like for life. So, but we changed the Vita to Vita for vitamins. But roughly, we wanted to make something that people were happy taking for the rest of their lives, and to build a product that works. And so that's been a big theme in everything that we do, with really trying to make a simple routine, a simple product, and help people stay compliant with their vitamins after surgery.
Yeah. And you guys also offer a subscription, correct? So people can go on, order it, and then they just don't even have to think about it. It just comes automatically to their door.
every month it's an algorithm that figures out when your package needs to be right at your door, and you can manage your subscription right on our website. But the idea is, Steven said, to be happy with the vitamin you have to take for the rest of your lives, maybe be happier. I don't know if anyone will be happy with a vitamin to take every day, but just to make it as seamless and easy as possible on an already kind of extensive journey of a million things that bariatric patients have to do.
Yeah, it's definitely not an easy journey, but that makes it just a touch easier, knowing that we could just go on, purchase it, and then it's just at the door every single month and it's done. You don't even have to think about it. You just have to actually take the vitamin.
You have to do what you're supposed to do. So can you explain to people why it's so dangerous to not take vitamins or the bariatric vitamins?
Yeah, absolutely. So when it comes to vitamins in general, so people who have had restrictive surgeries or malabsorptive surgeries like the gastric bypass and the gastric sleeve, what actually happens is your stomach is very small, so you can't eat very much. And what you do eat, you can't absorb very much of it. And so your stomach also doesn't produce a lot of gastric acid, which is really important to break down certain vitamins and minerals. So that's why sometimes a lot of people complain from like cramps or bloating or things when they take supplements like iron because sometimes those are harder on your stomach. That is partially because your stomach is actually having a harder time breaking it down because you can't actually produce as much gastric acid. And when it comes to bariatric specific multivitamins, because you can't eat very much and because you can't absorb very much, your body needs a little bit more than what is recommended for the general population. So something you find in the drugstore, that might, just be for, a normal person, might not be enough for you. You might need to take additional of certain ingredients like iron, calcium. There's really important ones that people don't really think about, like thiamine or copper, because typically it's easy enough to get those from your diet, but if you aren't eating very much, it's really not. And then those can have severe consequences later on down the road.
What does that look like?
The consequences?
We've talked to patients who have lost their eyesight temporarily from thiamine deficiency. We've had patients who have had neurological problems due to copper and vitamin B12 deficiency. You can actually have problems like walking, like your gait will change. But that's typically for more of a long-term deficiency, like if it's a while without noticing it.
So are we talking like a couple years? Or
a couple years normally for more serious neurological symptoms. But I mean, there are things to be aware of, right? And things that people need to, take a preventative step to block them. And there was actually one patient that we talked to. It was super tough because there's I know there's a big trend of like medical tourism. So people going abroad to get their surgery, it's often much cheaper and affordable. And, it makes sense for some people to go and do that. But when they come back to Canada or the US, they often don't have a bariatric healthcare provider or dietitian or someone who knows, what the journey is like after surgery and what to look out for. And so this patient that I'm speaking of who lost, her eyesight temporarily, it came back, but it was just due to a vitamin deficiency. And that was the last thing anyone looked for or tested for because she didn't have a bariatric healthcare provider. So they were doing, like cognitive scans, they were doing body tests, they're doing everything possible. And then it turned out just to be bariatric related thiamine deficiency.
Oh my goodness.
Was causing all these problems.
How scary. Could you imagine just being blind for a while?
No.
Oh my God, I'd be freaking out.
Well, and like you said, like that's the last thing that they were like concerned with were what are vitamin levels look like? And that should be the very first thing that people think about, I think.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it sounds like that's a big disconnect, even with just medical providers. It's like, oh yeah, like we all need to be on the same level for things to function in your body, so you can perform at a higher level. And when those are depleted or you're not getting those things, and that's why you're like you said, like the walk could even be different. Yeah. And we actually heard from a patient, she had memory loss. Like short-term memory loss was a huge problem for her.
Yeah.
Even what you guys are saying, right, is just feeling better and more energy. Like that's generally like the quick turnaround fix and feeling when you take like proper supplementation, right?
Yeah, you get your energy back. Like if I don't take my vitamins one day, I feel it in my system. And that's something like bariatric, we go over it a lot, that you're more in tune with your system after bariatric surgery. And so you notice things that maybe the normal person, we call them normies, that normies wouldn't necessarily make that connect, because we have to be very in tune of like, okay, am I hungry? Okay, do I need water? Those, do I need to take my vitamins? And I notice it right away.
Yeah, like I didn't take my multivitamin yesterday, don't you let me. And I can tell this morning, like there's a little more fog this morning than there typically is on a day that I would take vitamins nonstop. I remembered, and it was like 6 o'clock at night, and it has a lot of B12, and I was like, I don't want to be up all night, so I just didn't. And I'm judging. Okay, I know. I'm
judging. I'm judging hard. I'm judging hard because we are running a contest or a vitamin challenge on our Instagram page.
I know. That's what reminded me, is I saw them like tagging us, and I was like,
at least you can own up to it, right? That's the first thing. So
yeah,
sorry, listeners.
She may get judgment, but I mean, at least.
Oh, no judgment here.
I always own that shit.
Yes.
I'm human. I make mistakes. I am not a robot.
Of course.
So.
Correct. But you want to be on, and I found that if you take your vitamins now, and you guys can tell us whether this is accurate or not, but in my brain, I feel like it works better if I'm taking it at the same time every single day. Is
that's real? That's
okay.
100%.
Okay.
Do you know the science behind why that works?
Well, it's all about like building a sustainable routine, right? Like something that you can do every day and something that you feel good about doing every day. So you're taking your vitamins, which you know is a good thing, and there's all sorts of for like real and not real effects that you feel good about when you do something like that. So if you can keep that up, then all of a sudden you're like, yeah, I'm crushing it. I'm taking my vitamins. It's awesome. And your body feels good, your brain feels good, and it's a win-win.
Awesome. Yeah, because I feel like it's just, I'm more, I don't know, I feel like it works better if I take it at the same about the same time. I usually take it right around 6 or 7. So it's within like an hour window that I usually take them.
See, and mine has iron, so I need to take it with food, or my tummy, like I start instant nauseous, and then like I get all like the sweats, and then I'm thinking I'm gonna puke, and I'm like, oh no. So I've learned I have to take it with food.
Yes. And that's accurate, right? Some people need to have iron with food and some people don't.
Yeah, most supplements, they're typically recommended to take with food. It just makes it a bit easier to absorb some nutrients. And it makes it a bit easier on your stomach as well. I know, iron is a big one that can not feel so great. So we, in our multivitamin, we use a special type of iron called iron glycinate. It's a really ugly, long scientific name. But it's basically what's unique with it is that it doesn't really interact with calcium. So that's something that you typically can't really combine up to certain ranges because they kind of compete with each other for absorption. Another big benefit is that it really is much easier on the stomach. So we've had lots of patients who have had really big problems with iron supplements. They say it hurts, you feel nauseous, you get cramps, it's terrible. And then they've had nothing on ours. And we're always so happy when that happens because it feels like a win for us when we're helping out.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited because we have the bottles at home. And so we're like just waiting for this challenge to be over, and then we can try the Paravita multivitamin, and we're so stoked.
Let us know.
We're excited.
The iron is a huge problem for us. So I'm excited to see, like, because it's been progressively getting worse, like nauseousness. So I have to like split it up during the day. I have to take like one in the morning, one in the afternoon. And sometimes I do forget the afternoon one, but I'm excited to try the Paravita one because if it's gentler on my stomach, it'll be easy peasy to take because I won't even have to think about it.
Yeah. Can you tell us how you guys got the formula and how to take your guys' multivitamin?
Yeah, 100%. So basically how it works here in Canada is any sort of supplement that you make, you have to get licensed and approved by Health Canada. And so Health Canada has basically like ranges of how much is safe and acceptable to take when it comes to certain supplements. And then in the US, there's this awesome society called the ASMBS, the American Society for Metabolic and Bariatric Surgery. And they publish scientific guidelines on how much of each vitamin and mineral should be recommended for bariatric patients. And there's not research on every single vitamin and mineral, but for a lot of the main ones, they have some ranges that you should aim for. So we built our multivitamin using a combination of the Health Canada guidelines, the ASMBS guidelines, and then choosing the right forms of each ingredient that are best for bariatric patients. So for example, calcium, there's like over a dozen different forms of calcium, but we use calcium citrate in ours because you don't need as much gastric acid to break it down and absorb it.
Oh, good to know. I didn't know that either. I'm learning all sorts of stuff with you guys.
I love it. I love it.
And how many pills do you have to take a day?
Yeah, it's 3 pills throughout the day. So we kind of always recommend to take it with your 3 main meals just to keep it kind of simple.
Okay. And you said there is calcium in your multivitamin.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it literally is a one and done.
Right. So a lot of the feedback that we had gotten, whether it was early on or even still to this day, it's bariatric patients. I think any type of person wouldn't want to take these so-called horse calcium pills. Right. So for us, it saves a lot of people taking those. And I mean, additionally, there's biotin in our multivitamin and things like that. So it does cut out a lot of those ugly, gross, foul tasting, smelling pills that other bariatric patients have historically been taking.
That's fantastic because I know that like hair loss is a huge deal in our community. And so having that biotin in the vitamin is epic. Like we need that a lot.
Is there iron and calcium in your guys' vitamin?
Yeah, because they use a different type of
non-competing form.
Yeah. So can you explain how you guys did that? Because we keep hearing that that's so hard to do. That most people have to like just have calcium separate.
Yeah, 100%. So typically in like with traditional and more older multivitamins that you could that have been around for years, you don't really find a multivitamin that has calcium and iron together.
Right.
One, because they're both kind of like big and they take up space and they're expensive, so people try to separate them. So from a business perspective, it's a little iffy there. But then they also sometimes compete with each other for absorption. The science around it isn't like 100% clear, but there's a certain range of how much iron you can take and calcium together before you will actually stop absorbing all of them. So, and basically what happens, what the theory is, what happens is calcium and iron, this is the science, they're both charged molecules. And when they're together in large amounts, they start to clump together and make larger bodies that your intestines and body can't really absorb. So what's special with our iron is that it's not charged at all. So it just floats by itself and stays around. And then we have normal calcium doing its thing. And that's what helps and makes it a bit easier to absorb on your body. And that's what
that process must have been so interesting.
Yeah. How did you guys
to come up with that stuff?
figure that out? Like, that's
a Steven one. I still try to learn a bit more about that daily, but Steven is that's him going off on that.
The biology part of it.
Yeah.
And the chemistry.
It's relatively new research, but there's a company that produces some of this iron that has done a lot of studies around it. So we get our iron from this company, and it allows us to combine them together. But yeah, it was something I remember when we were first, like building Paravita and designing, what we want to offer people. I think we had the optimal thing that we were going for was actually 4 different products, and we were really unhappy with it. We were like, oh, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel good. Like, no one's going to take four products. That sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of just as we investigated this more, like how do we solve this? Then we came across this type of iron that we decided on. So
that's
worked.
Great. That's great. So to kind of like go on top of that, so that's the reason why you guys chose to go with one product, and maybe expand more on like why you chose just one product versus like having, because I know a lot of vitamin companies, they have a lot of different types. So like they have like a prenatal one, they have a probiotic one, they have one without iron, they have one with iron. So why did you decide to go with one versus many?
So kind of something that we kind of picked up on was, and Stephen actually introduced this term to me at one point, which was called decision fatigue. And that would be like going on to go get your vitamins, and there's like 30 different options to choose from. So something that we always from the start wanted to be conscious of was obviously simplicity, but as well as like affordability. Like, when you have a huge array of options to choose from, the cart starts adding up. And when you have to do that monthly, it really starts adding up. So for us, we wanted to keep it, a one product shop where like all the information lies on that one page. It's not complicated. It's not confusing. The reason we do it's 3 pills per day of our multivitamin is due to that calcium restriction of what your body can absorb. And, we're constantly exploring like other products to offer, but we'll always cap it. Like, we never wanted to have more than, a few different options for a Paravita as a company as a whole. Whatever's like most essential for bariatric patients and something that we think that we can offer, incredibly well and affordable, that's something that we'll explore.
I love that. Well, because you have to be conscious of that. I mean, like you said, you'll add everything in the cart and then you're like, ooh, that's like $100 a month. I can't afford that. So being conscious of, of that, because, you hit it on earlier, a lot of people go out of the country to get their surgery because it is cheaper. So then they come back and they're like, okay, I got to take all these vitamins, but I still can't afford it. That was the reason why I went out of the country. So that is awesome that you have that option to do a lesser cost.
What is the cost for you guys? Because I know you guys, that was a big deal. You guys wanted to keep it affordable for us.
Yeah. So it's $35 per month, and our company, we put our feet down from the start, and we cover shipping always on all products. So you get your $35 a month and whatever the tax is and where you live, and that's basically it. We handle all the rest for you.
Nice.
How nice is that?
Yeah.
I'm like, so much easier.
I know that there's sometimes where it's like before when I was taking like the gummy vitamins, don't shoot me. I was spending probably $50-$60 every month just to get those vitamins. So it's really nice to like cut that cost in half.
Seriously, because this is, like you said, rest of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like we need something affordable that can come to our house every month so we can just stay healthy.
And is exactly what we need.
Yeah, and like, look at the times, the economic times that we are living in. People are losing their jobs and people are getting laid off, and we've had customers around that, right? So our number one priority is finding a way to get these essential, important vitamins to bariatric patients with like doing whatever we can do. And being affordable and efficient is obviously the first step and first priority.
Yes. And when you guys sent us our bottles, it was quick. It was like I think 2 days.
Yeah, it was so
And
bad.
it was at the door. I was like, holy crap. Because there's sometimes where we order stuff and it's like weeks before we
Yeah.
get it. So good to know that it's fast and it's affordable.
Yeah.
So on a good note on that is we have, though we are manufactured and headquartered in Canada, we have shipping warehouses and fulfillment warehouses across the US and as well here in Canada, just to ensure that customers can get their product as soon as possible, whether it's their first order or whether it's their second, third, fourth, for like moving forward orders. It's just, they're not delayed, it's not quick.
Fantastic.
That's a tough kind of problem with when a startup company. When we started, we dealt with definitely our hurdles there, but knock on wood and cross fingers, we've been super consistent and everything's been great since.
Yes. Yeah. It's been, I know that some companies, it's like, that's an issue and we hear it from other people. Like, they'll be like, well, the shipping takes forever. And I'm like,
we know.
Yeah, we know. So it's good. It's good when shipping, it is a problem. So it's good that you guys were like, okay, we need to make sure that these people get their vitamins and quickly so that they're not lapsing in between.
Absolutely.
So as far as taking the vitamins, so it's 3 a day, you take it, breakfast, lunch, dinner. If you take them all together, what
happens?
What happens? Just curiosity.
I know there's going to be people that are like,
I'm
I'm
going
to do this now.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So the main reason why they're separated into one tablet 3 times a day is because your body can only absorb about 500 milligrams of calcium at a time, and you need about 1,500 in a day. So that is the unfortunate part where you have to take something 3 times a day to hit all of that calcium. But if you miss a dose, or if you forget to take it for breakfast and lunch and you want to take them all at the end of the day, you can do that too. That's totally fine, but you won't absorb maybe all of the calcium you need for that day, but all the other ingredients will be absorbed just fine. So it's not the end of the world. Like people do it. It happens, it's better than not taking them. So just as long as that doesn't become the normal routine, then that's what we aim for.
Okay. Can you take too much calcium? Can you take too much calcium?
You can. It happens. Sometimes people can have sometimes it leads to kidney stones or certain things if you take too much calcium.
Okay.
It's not super common, especially for bariatric patients, to have excess calcium. But sometimes people have other conditions that make them a bit more susceptible to kidney stones or side effects of it. Yeah.
Okay. And then how soon after bariatric surgery can you start taking
your guys's vitamins?
Your guys's?
Yeah, absolutely. So what's typically recommended for the first like 6 to 8 weeks or so after surgery is having smaller tablets. And so ours are pretty small, but what we do recommend is maybe cut them in half because or just don't, or take a chewable or something for the first little while, because it might be a bit easier on your stomach rather than taking a whole tablet. So we've had some patients do that. If they cut it in half, that's fine. I mean, it's actually, I have one right here if you want to see it.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
You can also crush them up too, which is an option.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to ask if you could because okay. Yeah.
So
I love the bottle. I love the bottle.
Beautiful label. So it looks like this. It's not very big. It's kind of like similar to the Centrum tablets that a lot of people have taken before. Okay. But I mean, still, like your stomach's going to be sensitive right after surgery. So you want to take something that's nice and easy for sure.
I know with me personally, I had to take all of my normal medications for all of my autoimmune diseases.
Okay.
And so like right after surgery, it was like a meal because I take like 10 different meds. And so she was like, it's fine. Like just throw your multivitamin in with the rest of them. And so I would like take one, take a drink, and then I would sit for like 20 minutes and then I would take another one. It was like a whole process in the mornings. It was, that sounds crazy.
I think that's part of it too. What they want to avoid is like, they want to sometimes avoid filling up on one multivitamin and, make sure you get get some other food in you as well, and some water and everything. So yeah.
I'm glad you can crush it up.
Yeah.
So you can put it in like, when you're in that pureed stage or soft food stage, you can kind of like mix it in with your cottage cheese or, whatever you're eating, yogurt, and kind of get it that way.
Yeah. And I know offline, we talked a lot about like your guys' relationship with your customers. Did you kind of go over that with them? Because I don't think they realize how cool it is.
Yes.
So, and I'll let, we're both super passionate about this part, so maybe it's a 2-part question, but kind of going back to your first question, which is why we started Paravita. So I'm kind of a research junkie. Stephen was the science side, and I came from the private equity world. And just doing, a couple days worth of research alone, you have a community of people that are just inspired by one another and super engaged with one another. And it was really incredible to see from a research side, and then linking it with the information that Stephen had found, which was lack of compliance and finding the right vitamin. It was really kind of exciting for us to form this company. So something that we always wanted to do was create a great company was one thing, but to create a company where we can be as engaged with our customers as possible was really something interesting. And there's a term that we discussed, which is about scalability, and it's like, do things that are scalable now. They're not scalable in the future, because if you get to that problem, you're at a good position. So, we didn't want to pawn conversations off to employees of ours or anything like that. We wanted to kind of understand as many as we can. It sometimes gets to a lot. So as many stories as we can, because it helps us when it goes to R&D for the next phase of SKUs that we want to add to our company or messaging that we convey. And it was just, we onboard calls. It'll be myself or Stephen on a lot of these onboard video calls. There's no rush. It could be 10 minutes to an hour, whatever, the patient or person wants. And we generally try to stay in touch with as many as we can, because that's something that really differentiates us from, I don't think just bariatric vitamin brands, but a lot of vitamin brands in the world.
Just brands in general.
Yeah. It continues to drive us. Like it's something I get overly passionate about it. Stephen does as well. And it's really the best part is knowing that we're helping incredible people out and being a part of their journeys. Like it really adds this intrinsic fire to myself and Stephen always.
Yeah, we feel the same way, because that's us with this podcast. Like we put our heart and soul, and I'm sure you guys do too, into what you're creating. And it, like I'll talk about our mission and I get chills still because I'm just so passionate about it. I just want everybody to know, like, this is a community and we're here to support one another. So, and I love that you guys are doing the same thing.
And that's something we admired about you guys, like from the first get-go conversations, is we spoke about that, was just our mutual kind of love for this all, right?
Yes, this amazing community that exists, and most people have no idea that it's here. And 100%. It's great when you can be passionate and help a community of people that are genuinely just wanting help.
Yeah, we just want them to be healthy.
Yeah, I've never seen a more like supportive and engaged community than the bariatric community. I've been parts of like tons of different Facebook groups and things, online communities in my life, and I've just never felt that. It's really amazing. And Ben and I are super grateful to be a part of it. And I think that's why we have these like phone calls with our patients and customers, and we'll send someone an email after they've bought our multivitamins and be like, hey, do you want to have a phone call and introduce ourselves? And people are kind of taken back by that sometimes, like, oh wow, cool, like I get to talk to a vitamin company. And we've had hour-long phone calls with people, and it's great. We learn about their bariatric journey, we learn about struggles that they go through, and that helps us do better as a company, and that helps us connect with people, and it's really powerful. And we love it.
I can feel the passion. I can feel it over here, like how you're genuinely just trying to help people. And it's just amazing. It's amazing.
It helps us too, right? Because we keep all these conversations obviously confidential for us. And as Stephen and I, whether it's weekly brainstorm sessions or monthly brainstorm sessions with our teams, we can pull from these examples and feedback that we are getting from live customers. And real-time customers, telling us this feedback. So it helps us out, and it helps Paravita as we kind of scale and grow this business into a long-term company helping bariatric patients.
And I remember from our conversation that we had, it was a month ago now, you had said that there was a couple patients that couldn't afford vitamins because they got hit by COVID, and you guys helped them out with still providing them for them.
That's happened. People have said, we've lost our job or our main source of income because of COVID. We've been fortunate enough to still be operating. Our business is mainly online, and we said, hey, don't worry about it. You've been subscribing, or you're a customer of ours. We want to help you out, and we've given people, the next month on us, or next 2 months on us. I think it shows that, we're trying to build something for the long term. We really appreciate you as a customer and a person, and it's no problem. It's fine. We can help. So small things that we can do, and obviously someone's going through a lot if they've lost their job, and that's vitamins isn't something they want to have to worry about. So
we show our gratitude to say, take whatever we can do to help. Take your vitamins. That's we survive and we grow because of it. So we're not sleeping at night if someone can't afford vitamins, and if we can do something to help, we'd love to, at the end of the day.
That's awesome.
Yeah, seriously, guys. So I would like to say too, it's super important for them to know that you guys are there to talk to. So how does that work? So say if I go on, I make my purchase, I set the thing up, does there an automatic thing where you guys send us an email, and then we can schedule a time to talk to you guys, or how does that play a part in it?
So we actually haven't made it super public yet, because we can't also be on phone calls all day. We have to do work as well. So typically what we try to do is we will reach out to you if we are free in the next week or something, and try to schedule something. But we've been thinking about the idea of adding something a bit more automated, where after you purchase, you can use Calendly or something and book a meeting time to chat with us. But so far it's been more of a personal approach, where we actually reach out and say hello, and try to introduce ourselves. And sometimes people have time for it, sometimes they don't. So but usually I think people are pretty excited. So
yeah, I would be excited. I'd be like, wait a minute, the founders of the vitamin company want to speak with me? Okay.
It's funny though, right? So some people from our team, we kind of just have conversations on the social platforms just to plant the seed or get people familiar with. And if they have questions, it's, they'll be like, well, we'll set up a call with you and one of our founders. And they're on the call, they're I was so fired up to meet with one of the founders. I'm I'm so fired up that you were excited to meet me. It's that kinetic excitement between the two.
Yeah. We had a phone call the other day with a couple girls that are, one of them, they're sisters. One of them had surgery. One of them is heading into surgery. And they were fangirling. They were we can't believe that we're actually we could see you and we could chat with you. And it's still very weird.
Yeah, it's surreal.
I'm we just like to talk.
Yeah.
That's all we like to do. But I can feel that you're excited because they're excited.
Yeah. Yeah. And you, I'm sure you guys get tons of, the words fans, right? Fan requests and fan suggestions on the next stuff. And it's what constantly drives you guys, which is it's super transparent. And again, something that Stephen and I noticed right from the get-go.
That makes us happy that's what you notice, because that's our passion. That's what it is.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, now at least we know it's coming through.
yeah, because we're all I don't know. And
no, you guys are great.
Our moms will listen to it, or my mom will be like, you guys are doing such a good job. And I'm like, but you're my mom.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you're telling me the truth.
No, you guys are doing great. We've heard even from customers of ours that listen to your podcast. They had recommended it. We listened to it. So
Yay!
it's gone a long way.
Oh, awesome. That I didn't know you guys listened. Now I'm nervous.
Well, we're definitely going to listen to this episode.
Definitely this
Right.
one.
It's
for
always
sure.
interesting to hear yourself talk. Like,
Oh, I hate it. Oh, I can't.
I can't stand it.
I was really nervous our first podcast. Like, I was like, I don't know how I sound. And then I went and listened to it and I was like, is that my voice?
Mhm.
I don't understand. And then now I'm just used to it. But yeah, it was really funny in the beginning. I was like, oh,
You guys have great, I guess call it radio voices. I mean, those fancy microphones for sure help, but you definitely have the right voices.
Well, thank you.
Melanie has like this calming effect voice, I think. And then I've got like this like kind of manic voice. So I think we complement. Yeah, we balance each other out.
Totally complements each other.
We found out that I have the deeper voice, is what I was told.
Yes, she has a deeper
On
voice.
a live, they were like, oh, I didn't realize Melanie has the deeper voice. And I was like, I didn't know I had the deeper voice. So thank you.
Yeah, I always say I'm the loud one.
Yeah.
It's fine.
But go back to like Paravita. So how long did it take you guys to form? Like from when like the brainchild happened to actually like implementing?
Yeah, it took a long time actually. So the Health Canada approval process that we had to go through took over a year. It was really long just to get our license to actually be able to produce and sell our multivitamin. So I think when we started in January of 2018, we launched to the public in February of 2020, so last year. So we've been up and running for exactly just over 1 year now. So it's our baby as well, and we're super excited about it. But it's been an awesome year of learning and feedback and growth, and we're excited to keep on our mission.
And just keep
going,
keep grinding. That's what you got to do, is just keep grinding.
Yeah. And with the testing, did it take a while to get that all like the formula actually like perfect the way you wanted it, or was that pretty easy since you have like the biology and chemistry background?
Yeah, the formula itself, it took a while initially to plan everything and figure out exactly how much of this ingredient do we need, what type of ingredient do we need, and then the Health Canada regulations around all those to make sure everything fits where it has to. But we worked with a consultant group who sort of helped us with the paperwork and getting everything in order, which really helped us. And then we also we're super fortunate to have an awesome manufacturer here in Ontario who was willing to help us out. A lot of times, it's hard to start something like a vitamin company as a small business because people want you to order thousands of bottles and so on. So we were super fortunate to have a great manufacturer who could actually put the tablet together and build it. So
That's awesome.
And did you have like actual bariatric patients try it before it went to market?
No. You don't need to do that once you have the Health Canada approval. So that's they sort of do that work in advance to be like, okay, this is safe, this works, you're allowed to make these health claims. So we are allowed to claim that our multivitamin can prevent certain deficiencies based on like thousands and thousands of research papers that Health Canada has put together to say that this actually works.
So Canada's process is a lot, what's the word I'm looking for?
More invasive
than the US.
Yeah. Steven's being humble on how it was a lot of work, the process for sure. And it's definitely tons of rigorous back and forth, and which I mean, it's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
It's tough to start a company that way, but it really, that having that stamp of Health Canada approval really, it's like a trophy for us for sure.
That's awesome. I like that.
It makes me feel better to know that it does have that stamp of approval, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, because people are always worried about those things.
Yeah, in the US, it's a bit of the opposite, where if you find a manufacturer who's willing to work with you, you can sort of produce whatever you want until the FDA, like within some FDA regulations, but you don't have to get an approval beforehand.
Right.
So as you work with an approved manufacturer, you can just start selling something. There's been not so much in the vitamin world, but in more like the protein and other supplement world, and horror stories of people finding steroids in their protein and things like that, where those companies obviously get shut down. But it's the Health Canada, they take that approach beforehand, but they want to know who you are, what you're doing, what you're selling, and if it works, in order to let you do it.
And that works, like that is with protein companies and all of that that's in there, or is that just vitamin companies in Canada?
It's basically for any sort of natural supplement or food product that has supplementation in it that you want to sell.
Okay.
So they have this big, boring directorate that has all these different classifications in there. So when it comes to like, there's different regulations for herbal products or traditional medicine or vitamins and proteins and different things as well. So
okay.
Yeah, I know that's a big concern with people in the US because of they're not regulated. And so they're always like, what do I pick? And that's one of the reasons why we wanted to talk to more vitamin companies, because people are very nervous because they were finding out like stuff on Amazon. People are just making, down the road, and it's not actually hitting the stuff that should be in your body, and it could hurt you and all those things. So
I think that's the biggest thing, is that we want to give people options, but we want to give them good options. Like, we want their options to be that they're going to get their full amount of vitamins, whether they choose A, B, or C. And that's why we like to talk to companies like you guys, where we can point them in a good direction.
And whether it's customers looking for that stamp, that credibility, like the Health Canada or US regulated approvals, or it's just working with credible brands. It's really, there's tons out there. There's not a shortage for sure. Just read customer reviews and do your research always. It's something you're putting in your body, so you don't want to not do enough research on it.
Yeah.
So one more question about, well, I don't know if you have any more, but why didn't you guys make a chewable?
Oh, that was one of my questions.
Okay, that's a good question. So a chewable is something that's on the radar for us, and we know that a lot of people are interested in a chewable. But coming back to the whole simplicity thing, actually the research shows that the majority of people still prefer tablets, just something they can swallow and take and get over with, rather than a chewable. And so we wanted to start off with something simple that we know it works, that people are going to love. We didn't want to start off, introducing 4 random flavors or something that people, might like or not like, and then all of a sudden we have tons of product that no one wants to take. So we wanted to start off with something simple, grow a customer base, figure out what they're interested in, and from there, selectively launch something else that people can take. And for us, that would probably be a chewable version of our current multivitamin, which is in the works.
Yay, that's exciting news, because I know Melanie prefers the chewables.
I do. I'm one of those weirdos that likes the chewables.
I like chewables better.
For me, it's like, it feels like I'm like accomplished something, because you can taste it, you can chew it, you're like, it's all in there. And I don't even care if it doesn't taste good. Like, because I know that it's really hard to make a good multivitamin taste good, like, I'm over the whole, like, it has to be perfect. Like, guess what, people, it can't be fucking perfect. I'm sorry. It just can't. Get over yourselves. Like, just as long as you can tolerate it, because I can feel like when I take the multivitamin, I can feel instant, like within like minutes of the energy portion of it. Like, I feel like it absorbs better. I could be completely wrong, but like, at least in my body, I feel like the absorption's like 10 times better for me, because when I take, because I ran out of my the chewable, and so but I had the backup of the capsules, and I just didn't feel the same. I was just like, I feel like I know that I got the vitamin, but I didn't feel it like I normally would. And so I feel like with the multivitamin, I can like, go on with my day and feel the energy and feel like a little more stronger, kind of.
Absolutely. I mean, if it works for you, then hey, keep doing it. Don't change it. And that we tell that to people, just find something that works for you that you can take and be happy with. Because at the end of the day, that's the most important thing, that you're taking something.
Yep. I think that's it's missing in a lot of bariatric knowledge of just find one, put it into routine, and just keep on that routine, because like you guys said, it's for the rest of your life. So you might as well get used to it.
Yeah. And we just set out some tips where like, put it next to your bedside table.
Yeah.
Just have it there so that you can see it every morning and every night before you go to bed. So you can be like, oh, wait, I forgot to do that. Maybe I should take it now. Type deal.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And I actually have a couple that sit next to my computer when I'm working. So when I don't like to work at a desk, so I work at my island in my kitchen. But I have a couple that I set right there so that when I'm sitting there, when I eat lunch, I can take one. So I think just putting them where you're going to see them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
I think it'd be perfect.
Yeah. Put a bottle in your lunchbox, whatever,
whatever routine works for you, right? Like everyone will have a different routine. And then those routines are very similar that we recommend as well, whether put it in your kitchen or bedside table, but whatever works, right?
Yeah. Don't hide it in your bathroom, but put it somewhere where you can see it, and then you'll walk by it at some point during the day and you'll remember, hey, I need to take.
Be like, oh, I'm gonna go eat lunch. Oh yeah, I have to take my, because that's what the correlation you want is like, okay, you're eating breakfast. Oh, I got to take my multivitamin. Oh, you're eating lunch. Take your multivitamin. So, yeah,
I like it. So, only question really I have left is what are we gonna be seeing from you guys like in the future
from Paravita?
Yeah.
Good question. Steven, you want to take a stab at that?
I'm happy. So we've been working on some exciting projects related to, first of all, like around sharing stories of people who have had bariatric surgery, because like Ben said, through these phone calls, we learn so much about people, and everyone has such an incredible and unique journey. About the point that brought them to getting surgery, and their journey afterwards, and we've been working on some exciting ways to share that back with the community and give that back to people to first of all encourage them to get surgery if they're thinking about it, and to share the stories that people have had in their lives around bariatric surgery. And it's been super powerful for us, and we've had stories that have made us cry and made us super emotional, and we think that more people should know about these things, and we can't give too much away, but you can stay tuned for some exciting stuff around that.
So should they keep an eye on your Instagram, on the website? What should they keep an eye on?
Take a look, keep checking Instagram. We'll probably release some newsletters soon, so if they want to sign up on our website, but we're not hard to find. We'll make it very aware that we're doing something.
Awesome.
Yay, we can't wait to see it.
Well, yeah, and we'll tag them if we see it.
Paravita.co. Sorry.
Oh, what was that? Say it again.
Paravita.co.
Okay.
That's our website and our Instagram, so nice and easy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that does
super
make it
easy.
nice and easy.
Okay.
Because we will definitely highlight whatever you guys are up to.
Yes. And if you guys go down in the comments of wherever you're listening to this, it should have their handle and their website.
That's right.
So you can go and follow it.
Go check them out, because delivery service to your door automatically is amazing.
For inexpensive.
You don't have to pay shipping.
I'm down. Yeah. I'm down. Like
I'm sold.
Yeah, I'm sold. Something that I don't have to think about. Yes, seriously. I'm good.
And then watch for us, because we're going to be working with these guys.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out and see what's going to be happening. So that's all the questions I have. Is there anything you guys want to add that we may have missed before we go?
We just want to know what you think of our vitamins once you take them. So keep us posted.
Okay. Yeah. Let us know. You can message us. You can message Paravita. Just keep it out there. Keep sharing it. Tag them in the pictures of if you get the vitamin. Let us know what you think.
Yeah. And I think we'll tell you how we feel too.
Yeah, and if anyone has any questions, we're super reachable. Always here to help answer and help whether it's just bariatric information or our company information. We're always around.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Yay. Okay. Well, I think that is everything for today. Once again, thank you to the guys from Paravita for coming on here and sharing their story, because that's what we're all about, is sharing those stories.
All of them.
And talking about breaking that stigma.
That's right. Breaking the stigma of weight loss and weight loss surgery, because for some reason it's a problem and people have judgment about us taking our life back. So confusing. But whatever, they want to hate on us. And that's probably why this community is so engaged with each other, is because we felt the shame, we felt the hate, and we're like, hey, like, we're just people wanting to get healthy.
Yeah.
So
we just need encouragement.
We just need encouragement, and we need to get those vitamins in us, guys, because literally I went way too long.
So did I.
And it caused like hair loss that lasted way longer than it probably should. And me just feeling fatigued and things like that. So definitely check out Paravita, check out their website, and get some vitamins.
Yes.
If you haven't already.
All right. That is everything. And we will see you guys next time. Bye.